Heidi here. I was just going to talk about weapons a little bit. This is a twofold thing. Part of it is to share some information with some of my friends and family. They know what I've been up to, but they don't really know what I've been up to. I talk about the weapons quite a lot, and but I don't think people really know what they look like. And the other part is for Mark because he asked for it. So here you go. Last night I did my first dagger fighting training. It was tons of fun. I did better than I thought I would. But what we use to train for fighting at Forte Swordplay is this. All right, this is a rondelle. It's a practice dagger, and it was designed by our weapons master, John. You can see it flexes. This is nice, so when you stab somebody with it, it collapses, so you can have some kind of a. It feels like you're doing something, and also it's good for control and stuff. Other groups use things like this. This is a wooden one. It's pretty hard. So it's this or that. And this is really not used for actually fighting. My group is a fight group, and we gear up and we really hit each other. So if you were to hit somebody full force with this, it could do some damage and be quite painful, especially if you got them in the throat, or some certain points would really be painful. But you can see they are kind of close in size. And this, of course, is a real dagger. This you would not want to fight with your friends with because you could kill them. But it's a fun thing to have. So that's that. So this is what we use. This is what other groups use. But you can have fun with this too. So that's a little bit on daggers. Next, I'm going to talk about the dusok. Okay, this is a dusok. This was also made by our weapons master, John. It's from he's created it from plastic. And there's some sort of rod in here, which I'm not quite sure what it's made out of, but it's also wrapped with some padding. And this type of thing was used back during medieval times for weapons training. If you were doing something like broadsword training, or something with a falchion, something that's like a curved blade thing. And I just recently started fighting with this as well last Sunday. It's a lot of fun. But it's a one-handed weapon, so you can, anyway, but it's hard, just like some of the other things we use, and we do hit each other with this pretty much full force, so you can imagine sometimes some of the hits we take, but yeah, so that's the dusok. But it's a quick weapon, and because it's one-handed, it's not that heavy, but it's good. It's easy to move, but it's fast. So when you're going up, you got to move fast with it, and you got to get out of the way fast because you'll get hit. But that's one of the reasons why when we fight, we're wearing things like these fencing masks, because the head, the face, the neck, the arms, the hands, everything is fair game when we do this. And definitely need this kind of protection because we're a fight group, so we're hitting each other, and which is tons of fun. But anyway, and also we wear padded gloves. These actually are lacrosse gloves. They're padded across the knuckles, which is good because if you get your hands out there, they're gonna get hit. And the guys do go for your hands and the back of the wrists and stuff. I have elbow pads. These are actually small ones, so I'm going to probably have to invest in some bigger ones. Some of the guys use some of the lacrosse pads and hockey pads and things like that come down more. And they also wear padded garments a lot of times to protect the body because we're going for everything. So, but it's all part of what makes the fighting fun and real. But that's it. So this is the dusok. So you guys, I've been talking about this too. This is the thing that I'm referring to. All right, so next I'm just going to talk about the longsword just a little bit, because really KDF, Kunstfechten, which is the martial arts that I practice. It's Western martial arts. It goes back to medieval times. Most of it centers around the longsword, and so I think we should talk about that just a little bit. All right? Okay, so on to the swords. This is known as a wooden waster. It's used as a practice blade. Some groups use this for training purposes. It's not actually used for sparring. Because it's very hard. It's made out of wood. But its length and its weight very much like what a typical longsword would be. This weighs about 2.5 pounds, and I think it's about 47 inches long. All right, and a longsword is also known as a hand-and-a-half sword because you can use it. It's meant to be used with 2 hands, but you can also use it one-handed if you need to. And it's pretty good for getting around. But when we spar at Forte, we use padded sticks and weighted shinai. And if you go to Forte Jeff's page, which the link is on my page, you can see some of the fighting done with the shinai and what that's like. That's generally what we use for sparring practice. But some groups do use these for training practices and stuff, but not actually for fighting, because you don't want to break anybody's arm or anything. So this is a waster, okay? This is my steel blade for practice. I use it more for cut practice and things like that. I don't actually fight with this. It's pretty light. It's a little bit shorter than typical. It's probably at the shorter end of a long sword, but I'm only 5'3", so if I have a 51-inch blade, it's a little harder for me to kind of make those swings and not hit the floor or smash my lights, which I've been known to do. But this is fun, and so this is my practice blade. I get this from Cult of Athena, and it's really inexpensive, but it's a good for a starter if you're interested in that kind of thing. By comparison, this is a Highland claymore or broadsword or whatever you want to call it, Scottish sword. This is really typically, it's also a two-handed weapon, but this weighs closer to 5 pounds. And if you were going to be swinging this around all day long, it would get mighty heavy. And this isn't anything special, it's just a replica of one, but it's still pretty heavy. But you can see, this would be a shorter one. I know they come much larger than this, but the comparison of the long sword and the Highland sword. But that's that. Really, you can't talk about swords without mentioning the Japanese katana. Katanas are actually where I first got my interest in blades. This is another kind of a replica fantasy blade. It's a little bit smaller. So, these things are very fast. You can use them one-handed or two-handed, but mostly you can use them. They're pretty light and pretty quick. But that's the difference in size there. And this actually has a little dagger in the handle, so it's kind of a fun little neat thing that I have. But I have tons of weapons and things. Maybe I'll share some other time. But that's it for today. So, one more thing. The woodcuts that I'm using in this come from this book. It's called The Art of Combat, and it's a German treatise, a German martial arts treatise of 1570. It was written by Joachim Meyer way back when, and translated by Dr. Jeffrey Forgenge of the Higgins Armory Museum. They have some cool stuff going on there. If you've never been there, you should check it out. But that's it. So that's it, and hope you enjoy. Thanks.